Hello, my crafty friends. It's Marie from Marie's Vermont Creations, and in celebration of Christmas in July, I am going to do an embossed resist watercolor background using distress oxide ink. So I am taking all of these snowflake stamps from the Christmas cheer stamp set from Simon Says Stamp, and I'm inking those up in Simon Says Stamp clear embossing ink, and I'm going to white heat emboss these. I am going to take them and flip the cardstock over and add them to the back so that my entire panel is covered, and this panel is using Canson watercolor paper. So I'm just going to get those arranged the way that I want them, and also use the clear embossing ink to stamp those, and then I'm going to cover the entire panel with white embossing powder, and we're going to heat set that until it's smooth and melted. And if you tilt it into the light, like I've said before, you can tell whether all of your heat embossing is ready or not, because it will look grainy or kind of dry, and when you've melted it completely, it's smooth and shiny, so you can usually see where you have spots that you need to hit again with your heat tool. So the watercolor paper is a little thicker, so I tend to have to heat it up for a little bit longer. So just sprinkling this all over. I did have a few stamped areas that I didn't realize until after I had put the embossing powder on that I didn't quite get a great impression on, but actually in the end it looks like it was meant to be, because it gives it more of a winter scene look. So then I did have to take a dry paintbrush and brush off some of the embossing powder that stuck where I didn't want it to, but that was pretty easy to get off. And if you have very small flakes of embossing powder, you can use a piercing tool to get just those one flakes away. I did treat it with an anti-static powder tool before I started, but I still had a few spots that I had to clean up. So then I'm going to take my distress oxides, and I am using just two colors. I thought I was going to use three, but I'm only going to use two. And so I am using Mermaid Lagoon first, and I'm just going to I sprayed a little water onto the color that I have smushed down on my glass media mat, and I'm just going to slap some down, and I'm going to take tumbled glass and do the same, spray some water into this and put some down. And then I realized, why am I using such a small paintbrush? So I went and got a bigger one and dabbed the color on in random spots, and then wet my paper itself. When I went to go add the next round of color on, I did spray down the paper because when I started it was dry. And then when I have enough color, I'm going to do just some swiping across it, and it gave it a real frosty, cold looking scene. And so where the embossing powder is, that's going to resist any of the color. So then I let this dry, and then I took the Merry Christmas sentiment, which was from the Christmas cheer stamp set, and First, I'm going to flick it with some just regular acrylic paint that I watered down onto a block, and get that flicked all over so that it looked like snow. So I took the banner die that I have, and I have stamped the Merry Christmas in the Mermaid Lagoon, and I'm just going to put a strip of foam adhesive behind that and add that to the bottom of the card. And that will be the card project for today. I hope you enjoy this and get started on your Christmas cards early. And I hope you guys have a great day.